guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a new reading vlog, and it's the first of 3 reading vlogs that I'm really excited for. So this one I'm doing first, and it is reading your favorite romances of 2021. So I had asked, I think a month ago on my Instagram, what your favorite romances were, and I reacted to it in a video, so I'll link that down below, and I chose 4 of them. 4 that I was extremely excited about / were the most popular, so I'm so excited. All of these are indie romances, and they are ones that I've been dying to read. One of my goals for 2022 is to read more indie romances, so these 4 made the cut, and I own 2 of them already. I had to order a 3rd one because it got taken off of Kindle Unlimited. I'll get to that in a second. And then the 4th one is on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm reading it currently. So the 4 books I'm hoping to read, the first one is Waking Olivia by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I do plan on reading more by this author this year, but this one is about a girl who runs. I say this every time I talk about this book, but I run as well. I did running club my senior year of college, which is basically like a club cross-country team. I only started running when I started college, but I run a couple of half marathons. I run every day, and so she runs, and she I think had a traumatic experience, and she now transferred to like a D3 school, one that she's like has a higher caliber than what the school performs at, and I think she falls for her running coach. She has a past she can't escape, and she wants the last person she wants help from Mr. Cocky Track Coach, and I'm really excited for this. I like a good taboo romance. Obviously it's a coach runner romance in high school, so we will see. Kimberly got this for me for Christmas, so thank you so much to Kimberly for getting this for me, and I cannot wait to read it. Then the other one I physically own that I got during one of Target's sales. They always do like the buy 2 get 1 free, and I ended up getting Mariana Zapata books because they're expensive, but all Rhodes Lead here is one everybody loves, and I am scared of Mariana Zapata right now because I have not heard the best of things about her books. Like, I didn't read Hands Down, which came out, because I heard that wasn't the best, but I love Kalti and Lukov and Winnipeg, and I just love so many of her books. But this one I think takes place in like the woods, and I think he's grumpy, like the mountains woods, and I don't know anything else about this. She's moving back, and it's a small town in the mountains, and that's all I know. It's gonna be slow burn. It's long. The other book I'm reading in here is long, but I am willing to try, and I have an open mind about it. So the next one that I have to buy is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, I think. This one literally I had to read for this video. There was no question if I was going to read it or not because everybody was talking about this book, but it also showed up in my most disappointing reads of my followers, reads of 2021. So I'm nervous, but I know it's fake dating. I think it's hate to love. I don't know, but they go to, I think, somewhere to a wedding together. So we'll see if I like it. This one I believe was picked up by a publisher, so it was taken off of KU, and it doesn't come out until February with that publisher, but I think it's still being printed indie because I just ordered a copy, but I had to go to like all editions and find the paperback. So, and it's from Amazon, so I think that it's still like the indie version, but it's a $10 ebook. So I could either spend $10 on the ebook or $16 on the paperback, and I decided to do the paperback because it's not on Kindle Unlimited anymore. I had it checked out like 2 months ago, and then I returned it, and I should have never returned that book, but I'm gonna be reading this one as well, so we'll see if I like it. The last one is literally already breaking me, like breaking my heart, and I can't stop thinking about it. I picked up Still Beating, and this one, I think it's Jennifer Hartman. I was running this morning on the treadmill because it was raining outside, and it's Sunday of my Christmas break, so I have to go back to work on Tuesday, but I was reading this book while I was running. Oh my god. I'm already almost 25% into this book, and our hero and our heroine hate each other. They've known each other for 15 years. He is her sister's fiance, so they are like early 30s or like just turning 30, and they've hated each other since high school, and he's been dating her sister since high school. So the hero is like weeks out or months out from marrying her sister, and they get kidnapped. So they're out celebrating something, and I think her sister's birthday, and the heroine stays at the bar, doesn't have a ride home. Her wallet got stolen, so she calls everybody she can, and the last resort is her sister's fiance, and she's like, I'm stuck, you're the only one answering, can you take me home? So he does. On their way home they get kidnapped, and it is brutal. When I tell you this is a dark romance, it is a dark romance. Like, I feel like crying right now talking about this book because of what she went through, and I've only been 25% of this book, and the guy that kidnaps them is so sadistic that he wants them to fall in love with each other while he kidnaps them. So you can imagine what he's trying to make them do together, and it is horrifying what they go through together. It really reminds me of Heartbreak Warfare by Heather Orgeron and Kate Stewart. I read that a couple years ago, and just the emotional turmoil they have to go through together, and then they only have each other to talk to when they're alone, and so then they start talking to each other about their secrets and about things in their lives, and they're getting closer emotionally. But like, she's like, I literally hate your guts, and it's like they're dynamic, they pull pranks on each other, they make jabs at each other all the time, but they're literally the only two people left for each other right now in the experience that they're experiencing, being kidnapped by a psychopath. And so it is the emotions this book has. Like, this is one of the books that I'm mad that I did not make myself read last year. I'm literally talking to you on the 2nd of January, and this will probably be one of my favorite books of the year. So this is another sign that I need to stop trying to read what everyone else is reading and what publishers are pushing, and just read what I want to read, because this book is already emotionally draining me, and I'm only 25% into this book. So I'm so happy I picked it up. I don't know if I'll end up crying reading this book, but it is just crazy. And I'm trying to finish up this other video that I'm doing, so I have to read 2 more books for that video, but I just want to stop everything and read this book. So I might just do that. I might just read this book and then go back to the other 2 that I'm reading, because I'm just obsessed. So I'm excited to read more by this author and see how this book ends. But I've been talking to you for way too long, but that's what I wanted to update you guys on. So I will go ahead and update you when I'm done with Still Beating, which we'll see if I'm alive or whole after reading it. Hey guys, so I know I don't like to do clips and vlogs like back to back in the same spot, but I just have to talk to you, and it's after school, and this is where I go after school before I change to go work out, so I'm here. I need to talk to you about these books. So I am already halfway into another book, and I finished a book already. I am obsessed. So I finished Still Beating, and I'm giving it 5 stars. It is one of the most emotional books I've ever read, and I will say I liked the first half better than the second half. Like, the conflict was kind of dragged out, and I feel like I don't want to say like I wanted more while they were kidnapped, but I would have liked a little bit more of certain parts of the relationship than what we got. But I still really love this book, and I'm giving it 5 stars. Like, it's so traumatizing what they went through together, and how no one really understands, especially her sister is keeping like, move on, just move on from it, and they literally cannot move on from it, and neither one of them can. And then addressing like why they can't move on, what's holding them back, and how to just become whole again after what happened, and then talking about like other people that went through that, and it was just amazing. Oh my gosh. And someone did say, if you were the one, tell me, someone, I think maybe it was on TikTok, was like, but I didn't like the sister's decision or something. But I think the sister did kind of run into the cliche like other woman who wasn't really that great, that we didn't really feel bad about him breaking up with. I would have loved to have like her be super great, and that make it all that much worse that he realizes that he wants to be with her sister, because she was kind of bratty anyways, and they did something where the sister admitted something, and I'm like, well, yeah, I really don't care that you're not with this guy anymore. So I would have been even more angsty if the sister was actually really nice and didn't deserve to have her heart broken by her 15-year boyfriend. But they make a good point about wanting life to be comfortable, and like being in relationships that are comfortable to you, and that's just what you're content with. And it's like, you need to break out of that comfort and go after what you really want. So I really love this book so much, and I don't want to spoil anything else. I feel like I've already said too much about this book, but 5 out of 5 stars. I'm so happy I read it, but it is very dark. Know that going in. It deals with being kidnapped, it deals with sexual assault, it deals with suicide, so please know that going in, and make sure you're in the right headspace before you read this book. It was so emotionally draining reading the first 25% of this book. Like, I literally could not stop thinking about the book for the rest of the day. It took up my mind that much, so know that going in. But I am so mad you guys did not force me to read this last year. I know all of you told me to. Oh my gosh, I'm 40% in. I did not fall asleep reading this last night. I had to force myself to put it down to go to bed so I could wake up on time for work today, because it was my first day back at work, and I was like, you need to go to bed now so you don't sleep through your alarm. So I forced myself to stop reading, and then I read some more today, and I'm gonna go work out and read on the treadmill and then finish tonight, because literally I'm obsessed. So it is a coach runner romance, but he's only 24 and she's 21. So it's not even like that big of an age gap. It's just a little taboo because of the power dynamic, I guess, between them, because he is the coach and she is the runner. But she pushes his buttons and pushes back so much. She does sleep run, which I could have sworn was part of this book, and it is. She has a very traumatic past. We still don't know much about it. She runs in her sleep, especially when she's stressed, which is typically before a meet. So she'll have run 7 miles throughout the night, exhausting herself, and have to go to a cross-country meet and has nothing left to perform. So she does really bad at her meets. And so he is the coach, and you guys, why did no one tell me he is a mountain climber? No one told me that. If you watch my channel, you should know how obsessed I am with Mount Everest. Mount Everest is so fascinating to me. I read a couple of nonfictions probably every year about Mount Everest. I love Mount Everest. I was obsessed with it in high school, and he's a climber. He loves climbing. He's climbed K2 and another, I forget what other one it was, but he said like he has always dreamed of climbing Mount Everest, and his dream job is to be a climbing guide, but he had to quit that because his dad died, so now he works on his farm that his dad owned, left in a lot of debt, so that's why he's on the farm, and he's a cross-country coach. And so no one told me that. And I'm just like, I love him, and I just feel like the author really gets running. So I talk about this every time I talk about this book. I'm a runner. I've run a handful of half marathons, and I did join my school's running club senior year, which is just pretty much club cross country. So we would go to like cross country meets and stuff, and it is so relatable what she goes through. I will say, if you have any aversions to like talk about food, don't read this, because she is very particular about what she eats and how that affects her. So know that going in as well, because she doesn't eat a lot because of her running, and she's very conscious of how much she eats, and she does not eat enough. And so she also gets in her head a lot, and running is a very, very mental sport, and this author just like gets it. I'm just like, wow, like I've felt that before. Before you go on a race, I used to run 5Ks all the time. I did pass out my last half marathon, so I have not done a half marathon again. I don't want to be in that competitive headspace as much anymore, so I just run for pleasure and for fun, and I don't try to run for a certain like PR or goal. I just like just run at a leisurely pace, I guess. She literally breaks records. She like flies through the courses, but it's definitely a very mental sport, because you can feel physically fine and then get in your head and freak out and completely ruin your running. Like, you can be in the best physical shape ever and have your worst race ever because of mentality and like what you're thinking about. This happens here, and he always talks her down, and I love how they're starting to grow closer, and he's starting to like her, and it's just so good. I'm really intrigued to see what's gonna happen when she finally reveals everything to him and to us, and I'm obsessed. I love his mom, and he's trying to help her through her sleep running, and she obviously doesn't want his help, but she's never gotten help from anybody before, and she was actually expelled from her last school for almost killing a guy with a bat, and we still don't know exactly what happened. We've gotten hints of that, but I see her kind of breaking down her walls with friends on the team, and it's another emotional read. But the fact that we have someone who runs with a mountain climber, like, this is a recipe for the perfect book for me. So I'm loving this, and I'm so excited to read more by this author. It's so good. Like, I'm excited to go run on the treadmill so I can read more. Like, that is my treat for working out, is reading a good book. So I cannot wait to read more of this. It's so good. I took it out on Kindle Unlimited too, so I can put it on my iPad and read while I run. So that's how I can read while I'm running. But oh my gosh, you guys, like, Still Beating was like obviously a 5-star. This one is probably gonna be a 5-star. This is probably gonna be one of my favorites of the year, and it's January 4th. So again, I should have read these sooner, but you know, it's fine. I don't have a lot of plans today because it is back to work for me. Our heating stopped working yesterday, which was very concerning because it was 25 degrees yesterday, and so we called the company that did our air conditioning, because we got our air conditioning replaced about 2 years ago, and they came out that day and they fixed it. So it was just a sensor issue, and they fixed our heating, and it's working perfectly now, thank goodness, because our house was dropping, and it was 63 when I woke up yesterday. That's a cold house, and I was really concerned about our pipes and like it dropping lower and lower. But it would turn on, like, once it got down below 65 and I turned it off and turned it back on, it would kick back on. But if it got higher, it wouldn't, and it would just drop back down again. And I was like, please don't need to replace this furnace. Like, I was not gonna be happy if we were gonna be told that we need a new furnace, because we've replaced our air conditioning, we replaced our roof, we fixed a drain in the yard, we fixed our porch. We've had to do so much to our house over the years, and so I was like, please don't make this happen, but it was just a quick fix, which is good. So today I'm just gonna relax. I have to go run and probably watch Below Deck with my sister, and then I plan on finishing this. Like, I'm flying through books physically right now because I'm just loving them. And let me know if you have any more like this, or as emotional as this, or Still Beating. Like, I need those angsty books in my life, so let me know if you have any recommendations like that. But yes, I'm gonna go work out and then finish this book and probably update you guys tonight when I'm done, if I do finish before I go to bed. New location, new day. It is cold outside, so I put my comfy Sherpa on. It is super windy. It's not like super cold, but it's like 40 it said, but then there's a lot of wind outside, so it feels really cold. I got gas after school, so went to work today. I did end up finishing Waking Olivia last night, and I loved it. So it did have some other woman drama, which I'm not the biggest fan of, that try to sabotage their relationship. Like, they literally tried to blackmail him in order to sabotage the relationship, and I'm just like, this is one of my least favorite tropes, but I still love the book. I'm still giving it 5 stars. I don't know. I would consider it like a new favorite. I don't know if it's an all-time favorite, like knocking off my favorite books, but I just loved the first half of this book so much, and then the other woman drama came in. But it's fine. It can have like a little bit of an imperfection, but I just love this book so much. It was so unique, and I love the fact that she was trying to get over this trauma, and then he was helping her, and he just like couldn't stop loving her, and she was growing close to his family, and the brother was in there, and he was hilarious. And I guess the brother and her friend have a romance. I don't think it's as good. Like, I've asked people, and they said it's not as good as Waking Olivia, but I really did enjoy that book so much. And so I think it's funny because everybody was freaking out that I was reading it. This one and Still Beating. I shared on my Instagram that I was reading them, and people got really excited. So I know Michae, it was one of her favorites from Oh Hey It's Michae, and she had messaged me saying that she was excited that I was reading it. So 5 stars for that one. So I have 2 5-star reads for this vlog, and they're books that I was really excited for and that I thought I would love because they're both super forbidden and taboo, especially Still Beating. So I'm happy I read them, and I made a TikTok yesterday about it, and the author somehow found it. Nobody tagged her. I don't know how she found it, but she commented on it, which I thought was fun because it was a positive thing. I always feel there's a weird line on TikTok because so many authors are so active on TikTok that I've made negative TikToks before, and I don't know if the authors have seen them, but they've at least never commented on them. But it was sweet that she saw that and commented that she hoped I enjoyed the rest of the book. But I'm giving it 5 stars. As someone who runs, I think I talked about this, the author definitely gets running, and I just loved having that in my book because it's such a mental thing, and Olivia dealt with that. But I also loved how she opened herself up to other people, and like having a family, and like putting down roots because she would never do that, unraveling her trauma in the past. So this book was just so good. I'll probably reread it before the end of the year because I just really enjoyed it. But I did in the mail get The Spanish Love Deception. So this is actually from Atria. So I don't know what the Amazon thing is saying it's pre-order for February because Atria is already publishing a paperback version. I don't know if they're redoing the cover maybe, because this feels like an indie romance, but it's got Atria on the spine, so it's not. But I knew this was gonna be long. This one is 470 pages, but I'm excited to read this. But I actually started, oh, I wanna show you too. My Target pre-order came of Elise Bryant's young adult book. It is One True Loves. It's super pretty. I loved Happily Ever Afters, so I pre-ordered this a while ago, and Target was having one of their buy 2 get 1 free sales. But I started All Rhodes Lead here, and I was interested because our heroine's 33. I didn't know she was that old. So typically I just like think of like Culty or Winnipeg, and I feel like her characters are normally in their 20s, but she's divorced in 33, and she lost her mom, and she's trying to do like hikes that her mom wanted to do, and that's why she's in this town. And the hero's son was subleasing their apartment above their garage without telling the dad, and so he is so angry, and she was the one who's subleasing it. So that's where the story starts. It's gonna be their romance. I don't know how old he is though. He has a 16-year-old son, and she says he's starting to gray, so if he's like 40 or something, she's 33, but she's divorced, and I don't know what happened there, so we'll probably get more background. But I'm interested so far. Like I said, I think the last time I talked about this, I was a little concerned about how slow burn Mariana Zapata's books are because I'm not totally in the mood for slow burn. Waking Olivia though was pretty slow burn. Like, they did not get together for a very long time, even though they really liked each other. But I'm enjoying it. So those are my updates on my reading. I will definitely read more of All Rhodes Lead here tonight, and I'm gonna save The Spanish Love Deception for last. We were supposed to get a lot of snow Thursday night, but it's moving so that there's snow above Ohio and below Ohio and not hitting Ohio. So it doesn't look like we'll have a snow day Friday, which I kind of sad about, but it's fine. At least it's not like Thursday night and we get our hopes up that we'll have a snow day, because it was like, depending on where it was gonna go, we could have gotten like 4 inches of snow or none. And it looks like we're getting none. Everybody else is getting snow. We're not getting any snow. We haven't gotten that much snow lately at all. We had some in the beginning of December, but not even a lot. It was just like a dusting of snow. It's sad. I miss snow. Anyways, I'm gonna read some more tonight. My sister's making some soup for dinner and hanging out with the pups. So I'll update you guys when I've read some more of my Mariana Zapata book. Hello everybody and happy Friday. I haven't talked to you guys in a couple days. I haven't had too much to update you on, but I am finally 54% into all Rhodes Lead here. I'm already 280 pages in and I just hit the 50% mark. So this book is long and slow. Like, I forgot how slow Mariana Zapata books were, to the point where the couple didn't really interact that much until like 40% in, and I'm like, now we're finally getting some sort of connection from you guys and you're actually like spending page time together. It just shows a lot of the like mundane parts of life, and it's taken me getting used to, because I'm just like, are we gonna get there? And I feel like the payoff is so good that I forget this part of Mariana Zapata books, but I am enjoying it. So Aurora is back in town because her mom had disappeared when they lived there, and then she just got out of a really long relationship that she had to be secretly in because he's a famous pop star kind of thing. Pop star, I don't know what music he does, but he was a famous singer and she couldn't like be publicly seen with him for his image, and I was like, that is a huge red flag. I don't know how she was in a relationship with him for like 15 years, but they broke up. So now she's like back in her hometown and renting the apartment that Rhodes has. I don't know if I told you guys already, but his son rented it out without him knowing, and he got really mad but let her stay there. And it's Rhodes and her romance. She's 33, he's 42, and she does act really young. Like, I feel like she acts like she's in her 20s, and I feel like she's in her 20s. Not that there's that big of a difference between someone like my age, I'm 28, and like 33. I feel like it's not that big of an age difference, but just the way that she acts, I feel like I'm reading about someone who's like 23. So I don't know. And she calls him Mr. Rhodes, which is making it hard for me to believe there's a romance between them, because I'm just like, he sounds like an adult and like you're young, and maybe that's why I'm seeing her as really young, because if there was someone not even 10 years older than me, I would not call them Mr. blah blah blah. And I don't even remember why she called him that, if like he made her. Like, I don't remember that part of the book, but it was just odd. And I think he's calling her Buddy. And I hate that as a nickname. I absolutely cannot stand it. So like, the way they talk to each other feels just super platonic and not at all romantic. And she's talked about how he's attractive and she like likes his salt and pepper hair because he grayed early, and how he's called her beautiful, but like, that's all the vibes I'm getting between them right now. So I don't know. I hope it gets better. We'll see. But I did get my hair cut today, and I'll show you tomorrow, nice and short. But it's finally the weekend. We got snow yesterday, but like not even an inch. So we got a 2-hour delay today, which I honestly don't even like, because I get nothing done at school because it's such shortened periods that I feel like I got nothing done that I needed to get done outside of my classes. So it's finally the weekend though, and like, there's a huge storm, and if you are in that storm, I hope you're okay. But it like, we barely got the tip top, and so it just like felt like a waste of snow because we didn't really get anything out of it. And like, where I live, no one got a delay. It was where I teach got a little bit more snow, but it's fine. I'm gonna go to my parents' house tomorrow, so I'm gonna stay up and hopefully finish a lot of this. I am wearing my comfy, by the way. Put it back on because it's like, feels like 6 degrees outside. But I got a Target pillow that like holds a tablet, and it's perfect to hold your Kindle. Even though I own 2 out of the, well, now 3 out of the 4 books I'm reading for this vlog, I've been reading them on my Kindle because it's just super easy to carry around and transfer to reading when I work out on the treadmill. I use my iPad for that, and it just like, just open it up and my book's there. But for the Spanish love section, I'll have to read that physically. But I've been reading on my Kindle again, and I love it. So I don't know if this book's gonna be a 5-star read though. We'll see. It might break the 5-star read streak I have going on, but yeah, I will update you tomorrow, and hopefully I've read a lot more. I'm not letting myself go upstairs until like an hour later from now, because I will not fall asleep on the couch, but I'll definitely fall asleep in bed. So hopefully I get more reading done tonight. She was a little mad that Lily had my lap. I was sitting right here, so she just buried herself over here. You okay, baby? You're okay. Good morning. It is Sunday morning. Miss Lily's right there. I got my hair cut on Friday. I love the length. I always get my hair cut like maybe 2 times a year, and I just chop it all off and wait for it to grow out, and then just chop it all off again. That's what I do. So you've seen me with this before, and I'm covered in dog hair, but that's okay. I read a lot yesterday, so I actually finished all roads lead here. And I know I was saying how it was slow, not a lot was happening. It's gonna break my 5-star streak. I gave it 5 stars. This book, it was so good. Like, we got to a point 80% in where they had their first kiss and I was obsessed. I was so invested in these characters and their romance because it was such a slow burn, but I don't get that payoff until 80%. So until I get to 80%, I'm really annoyed. And then the last 20%, I'm like, this is amazing. I'm obsessed. I love it. So I really loved how Rhodes is so grumpy, but so protective over the heroine, Aurora? I always forget her nickname, Aurora. I do still think like it made me a little weirded out that she would call him Mr. Rhodes, because then it really felt like he was super old and she was really young, even though they're only 9 years apart. I would have liked it if we didn't have her calling him Mr. Rhodes for half the book. And he still called her Buddy part of the time, but he like called her like Angel and like all these other nicknames, which turned out to be really cute. I will say I liked that. And there was just like this one scene that really turned it around for me when he shows up somewhere, and I was just like, I knew it was gonna happen and I'm so happy it did. And he's just so overprotective and just, that's how he shows his love to her. And I loved it so much. This book had such a good payoff at the end. I loved Amos's character. Amos? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but his character, I really loved the son and how she had talked to him about what it would be like if she had a thing for his dad and how his other family. I was surprised by who Rhodes was to his son. Like, that was a surprise, and I actually really like that. I've never read that in a romance before, of how he was a dad and why he was a dad. I would love books for all the other characters. Like, I loved all of them, especially his best friends. Like, I would have loved to see their romance too, and I just loved all these characters. The slow burn would have been annoying, but it just wasn't by the end, and I appreciated it and how it developed these characters. And I really liked her journey hiking and like overcoming her mother, like her loss of her mother and like what had happened with her mom. And it's just so atmospheric in this like woodsy town out in the mountains kind of thing. And it was Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I thought was really fun. And so I just love this book. 5 stars. We have 3 5-star reads, you guys. Technically 4, because then I decided to add Grip to this reading vlog and I just read it in a day. So I added Grip by Kennedy Ryan because so many people put this in for their favorite of the year. And I know my friend Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life loved this book. And I had read this in 2018. So I don't remember anything about it. Now I will say the ending twist, I remember now. Like, after reading, I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. And like a few scenes I kind of remember, but I completely forgot their romance. And I want to finish the series. I never actually read Still, so I read Flow, and I remember Flow fine. And so I reread Grip. It's a 15-hour audiobook, and I listened to it in a day and a half, and I loved it. Another 5-star read, but I don't know if I can count it for this vlog because I just read it in a day, and I never told you I was gonna read it, and I'm already done with it. But I love Bristol and Grip's relationship, and I love romances where it's literally the heroine is it for the hero. Like, Grip fell in love with Bristol like 8 years ago on the Ferris wheel. She's been it for him. We do have a really creepy stalker of Bristol's who tries to ruin them, and nothing can take them apart though. And I loved how Bristol was just trying not to be like her mom, and that really drove the plot, and I understood it. Like, the only people not letting Bristol and Grip be together were themselves, and Bristol did not want to be like her mom because of what had happened in the prologue of this book, and she was terrified because she knows she's like her mom. She doesn't want her future to be like her mom with her mom and dad's relationship, so she kept on pushing Grip away. But I loved them getting together so much. I loved it so much. So 5 stars. And it deals with a lot of heavy topics. I mean, we talk about police brutality in here and how Bristol doesn't get it because it's an interracial romance. Grip is black, Bristol's white, and they get pulled over, and she's like, what's the big deal? And Grip is like, you need to stop talking and let me handle the situation. And it was a rude awakening for Bristol, and it was like hard to understand why she didn't realize that was Grip's reality, but she had never lived it, so she was experiencing it firsthand with him. But I just love the relationship and how his mom reacted to their relationship and how everything turned out. This book is just magical. I loved it as much as I loved it the first time around, but now I remember why, and I'm definitely gonna read the second book soon, but that's a 5-star read. But I did start this. I'm 100 pages in, and this one's a slow burn too. So we just got to him saying like, take me to the wedding as your date, and I'm 100 pages in. And it's definitely really reminded me of The Hating Game because they work together and they hate each other, but you can definitely tell that Aaron like really likes her. Even though they're mean to each other, you can tell he's harboring like a secret crush, I think. He was like, oh, you live in Brooklyn, right? She's like, how do you know? He's like, you complain about it all the time. She's like, but I never complain about it to you, but he's always listening. He's always watching and paying attention to her. And he offers to be her date to this wedding, and she tells her mom her boyfriend's name is Aaron before she actually accepts it, so now she has to, and they have to fake date. So they are going on a date as well for him, so I'm interested to see where that goes. I do enjoy how our heroine's Spanish. She's from Spain. Our author's Spanish, so that's really fun. And then I'm excited to see them actually go to Spain for this wedding. She has a best friend, and I really like their connection at work and talking through problems and stuff. So it's a little slow going though, because we're already 100 pages in and like not a whole lot's actually happened, but I'm excited to read more. I'm not hating it like everybody who doesn't like this book has said, but I'm not loving it like everybody who's loved this book has said. I'm just like content reading it right now. So I will say, like, I've read 4 books so far and all of them were 5 stars. So whatever this book is, I am super happy with this reading vlog. But today I do have to film my Forbidden Romances video, which is going up this week, and I don't know, it might go up before this video, it might not. So if it hasn't yet, that is coming. And then I plan on reading a lot more of this. It is Sunday, my last day before back to work for me. I'm just gonna hang with my puppies, read, and that's all I have planned. So I will catch up with you guys about what I've thought for more of this book. Hey guys, so it is currently Monday, back to school for me. It is freezing outside. It's like 28 or something, but it feels like single digits. It was so cold this morning, but I had a good day at school. I had book club with my kids today. We read The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and they all really enjoyed it, which is good. So I always love meeting with my kids for book club. There's about a solid like 4 or 5 that go every meeting, so I'm glad they enjoyed the book. But I am almost 300 pages into, I think I'm a little over 300 pages into The Spanish Love Deception. I'm trying to finish it tonight. Hopefully I can. I accidentally, when I posted my sleeves to my Etsy shop last night, I entered 13 instead of 3. Like, it auto does 1 for every new one I add, and then I delete it and put the right number, but I guess I didn't fully delete the number before and just put 3 after it. So I put 13 instead of 3, and I sold 8. So tonight I have to make 5 new book sleeves. Thank goodness it was a fabric that I had a lot of extra of. I'm gonna be doing that tonight, but after that I'm hopefully gonna be reading more of The Spanish Love Deception, and it's good, but like just got to Spain, and so I feel like, I don't know how much like editing this book had, but I think that some things just needed to be cut down because it took over 200 pages for them to even start going to Spain. I don't know if we needed the fake dating on his part, like at that auction. I don't know how much I really got out of that, and there's just a lot of inner monologue that carries on for pages, and I'm like, are we still in the same scene? And it's been so many pages, and I feel like a lot of scenes take up a lot of time. Like, we've only had like, I feel like 3 or 4 major scenes, and I'm already 300 pages into this book, so I feel like something just needed to be cut down. And I'm not like absolutely loving it, but I'm not hating it. Like, right now it's sitting at like a 4 star. I think I really like how they're growing to really be attracted to one another, especially when they're fake dating. The games between the bride and the groom teams was so funny, and I loved it. The groom's team had to all play shirtless, and that was funny, and now it's their first night spending the night in their room together because there's only one bed trope. So I am really enjoying it, but I do think just some things needed to be cut down, and there's too much inner monologue. I don't need to know all of that, and it kind of feels redundant and drags things out a lot. Like, this is slow burn, but I feel like we haven't even seen that many scenes. It's just slow burn because everything's dragged through. So it's good, but it is this author's first novel, so I'm excited to see what this author has in store for her next novel. So that's how that's going. So that's all I have to update you guys on, though. Not really a lot, just another day at school. So I am gonna read a lot tonight, and hopefully when I next talk to you, I'll be done with the book. Alright, hello. I am gonna post this video tomorrow, so that is Tuesday today. I'm trying to post this on Wednesday, but I finished The Spanish Love Deception, and my feelings are the same. So I finished last night. I actually stayed up a little past my bedtime to finish, so I read like half of this yesterday, and I thought it was really cute. So I really liked Aaron and Lena's romance and how he would call her Catalina. A lot of this gave me Hating Game vibes, but what's fresh in my mind is the movie, because I read the book like 6 years ago, so don't remember the book that much, but I know that he like has a little nickname for her. There's more to the relationship than the girl thinks, and the guy is kind of misunderstood. I did appreciate, though, it like got over the hate pretty quickly when they decided they liked each other. Like, it wasn't this like cat and mouse game. Once they were in Spain, it was like, oh, we like each other. Super slow burn, though. Like, you gotta wait a long time, but like I said, I think it really needed an editor for the plot, because so much was dragged out, and like one scene would take like 40 pages because it would just go over and over and over the feelings that everybody was having. Our main character was having so much inner monologue, so it was kind of dragged out in that sense. So I can see why a lot of people don't love this. I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the romance. I enjoyed them going to Spain, though we didn't get the wedding. They went to Spain for this wedding and the wedding was over within like a chapter break. I would have definitely liked more of the wedding, but I thought it was cute. Is it the best thing I've ever read? No. You can definitely tell it's the author's first book. She need to work out a little kinks in her writing, but I don't know if she will, since she had such a good reaction to this. Like, if she'll just keep on writing the same, I would like her to cut down some. Like, this could have probably been 100 pages shorter and we would have gotten the same exact story. So I did enjoy the fake dating aspect though, and how she was back with her family and how her insecurity about her previous relationship delved into this relationship and how people viewed her. Like, I saw the third act breakup or like conflict really as realistic, so I did enjoy this. So not a new favorite, but I didn't hate it. It is not my most disappointing, but it's not my most favorite of the year. But I technically read 5 books for this video. 4 of them were 5-star reads. We had Still Beating, Waking Olivia, Grip, and All Rhodes Lead here. 1 was a 4-star read, and if I have a reading vlog where nothing is below 4 stars, that is an absolute success. I found some new favorites from this video, so you guys are amazing for giving me these recommendations. Thank you. I love you. If you have any 5-star reads you are dying for me to read, let me know in the comments, especially if they're super emotional. Like Still Beating, I still think about. Waking Olivia, I still think about. All Rhodes Lead here, I still think about. Like, I still think about these books, and I read them about a week ago now that I'm reading this book. But such a good reading vlog. I do have the best of BookTube coming up next. I'm gonna start that one next. I'm gonna be reading BookTube's favorite books of 2021. So let me know what you think is gonna be on that video as well. But that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.